Does this tick on you real bad? I got the solution for you. Be sure to follow my channel, check out the repair video on replacing lifters and rockers on a 3.6 pentistar Mopar engine. So this is my work area today. I'm in my garage. I'm in Iowa. It's 30 degrees out. I do not have a heated garage, but as you can see, this is my attempt to warm it up out here while I'm working. Got my little Amish fireplace, ceramic heater. Got another little heater here, and I have the door open to our house with fans blowing heat out here. It's not too bad right now. It is 8 in the morning, about to get started on this thing. I got a light set up here. I got more lights here. So when I start taking this apart, I can see everything. I went ahead and got some tables set up with all my tools laid out. I got a divider here for bolts and clips and stuff when I start taking the Jeep apart so I can keep it organized. I got my marker, magnets, mirrors, clip tools, all the different essential tools you're gonna need to be able to take this thing apart. I do have a scanner tool here. Over here I've got my torque wrenches. I have the timing tools that are needed specifically for this job, some fuel line disconnects. When I do get this all done, I'm gonna do an oil change. Got the good stuff, got Royal Purple, got assembly lube, got my little squirt bottle. This is my whole kit of the lifters and the rockers. They are, just this morning I put them in the oil. And if I happen to come across anything that needs some Loctite, I have that as well. So just so you can prepare yourself for everything that you're gonna need and to be able to make sure that this repair gets done and you're not running all over needing tools and parts and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with removing all of this stuff. So you can take the intake off, the cover, your battery tray, the upper and lower intake, so you can gain access to the valve covers on both sides. And we will just do one side at a time and go from there. Going to kind of show you where we're at right now. I do have the intake removed, the air box removed, which I have aftermarket stuff. I have the battery removed, the purge valve removed. I have the electrical box removed. I have everything all loose to be able to take this whole battery tray out. I did loosen power steering to be able to get to this front bolt. So you have 1, 2, 1 down here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 bolts and nuts that hold this whole battery tray in, along with all the wires that have clips to it. Pop all that stuff loose. This will come out and you will be able to get access to the whole passenger side valve cover right there. So show you that now and then we'll get it out of the way. All right, so with the battery tray out of the way, you can see it exposes this whole valve cover. Now on to more dismantling just to get to what we're trying to fix. So now I will be unhooking and pulling these wires out of the way. This is the evap, so I will see if I can't just push it over. Same way with these coolant lines. Take these loose, try to get them up and over out of the way so I can do this side and see what it looks like underneath. have my time lapse go as I work this stuff loose and get things out of the way. So I'm ready to pull this cover off. A few tips before you do pull the cover: get a can of compressed air like you saw me do. Blow off any loose debris, because when you pull this cover off, you don't want foreign contaminants falling into your engine, causing more problems than you need. So make sure you blow it off real clean. Another trick or tip, on the back side of the passenger valve cover, you get all this stuff loose, you're trying to take it apart, it's not popping free. On the back side is a PCV valve, and it is held onto the back of that valve cover with two 25 T25 screws. Now once I got all this stuff out of the way, I was able to use this little tiny wrench and get back there. Wasn't too bad, got them loose. Now this is loose, ready to come off, but I just wanted to point that out for people that are taking this on. You get to that point and you're stumped, don't try to start prying on this because it is a plastic valve cover. Be very careful as you're trying to remove that, and just work your way along slow, get all this stuff loose, and then you can pull it all off in one piece. So now I will get my wires tucked back out of the way, pull the cover off, and we'll see what we got. All right, I made it. I made it to the camshafts here. All the goodies, all the good stuff. This is where the very critical work starts to begin. So, looking at the lobes on the cams here, I don't see, well, some of them you can see they got a little bit of, I wouldn't say a groove. Let's see if I can put this flashlight somewhere, get a little better light. I wouldn't say there's a groove, but there is a slightest. So this one compared to, that one's got some. I don't know if that's just normal. Doesn't appear to be super bad. You see these down here, they're a lot better versus that. Kind of see the difference. Once I get these cams off, I will wipe them down, double check them. It appears I got lucky and I caught this tick before any of these loose rockers got into the cams. So now is a very important time where you make sure you get the engine markings here on the side. So I believe, get this light out of the way back here. I believe on here, I'm gonna have to double check before I finalize these two lines here. You're gonna rotate the crank down there. I'm gonna guess, so this looks like we need to go possibly backwards a little bit to get these to line up on the passenger side. The driver's side, you're lining up the arrows. So I'm gonna double check, and even you have exhaust intake. So this is a very important part where you get these lined up. You install your cam tool that will lock it in place to where you can loosen these up. Then once you get those loose, we'll just do one at a time. There's another tool that slides down back here and releases the pressure off of this, so these can be removed. So I'm gonna go ahead, get that stuff set up, bring you back. All right, I got this rotated. I put both those lines parallel to the deck of the head here. And then you get this tool. I ordered this set specifically for this job off Amazon for 21 bucks. Can't beat it. I'll use it probably one time, but definitely makes the job easier so you don't mess things up. So this, once you get these lined up and you go to slide this in, it should slide right in. These teeth are spaced perfectly on this tool to go into those gear teeth. And if you don't have these lined up just right, it's not gonna slide in, so don't shove it in. You just need to rotate. Then you must not have those lines exact. I grabbed the wrong side and tried to put it, wasn't working, so I grabbed the right side, which it's labeled. It slid right in. So, kind of give you an idea of how that tool works. So this will actually lock these gears together so your timing doesn't get messed up when you break these free to be able to remove the cams. So I'm gonna break both of them free, but we're gonna start with this side first. I got these two 36mm bolts busted free. So I'm gonna leave that side on. We're gonna take this side loose. I marked my timing chain. All four of those holes should be facing up. I got the tension off of the timing chain here with this tool here. So then I can pull this out. I'll be able to take this out at that point, pull this whole thing off, and then start removing these torque head screws here to be able to pull the cam off out of the way, to be able to get to the lifters and rockers. So it is the exhaust cam removed out of the way, so I could pull out all the old rockers and lifters. I wiped out all of these valleys, the raises, and checked to make sure I didn't have any grooves or scrapes. They all look very smooth and very good. When I pulled out all the rockers on this cam, none of them had any play, but I know we will find one or two because I had a pretty good tick going on. So we will find that when we get to the next one and the next one, But for right now, I got the cam moved out of the way, the old rockers and lifters taken out. I wiped down all the valleys, inspected everything. I have the cam over here. And when you are taking these apart, make sure that you lay the stuff out so it goes back where it goes. Like, do not move this up to here and this one back here. Keep them how they came off the vehicle. So I have this laid out so I don't screw it up. This is the front of the cam, front, working your way back. Same way with my ejectors. It doesn't really matter, but I just labeled them, have them laid out in the order I took them apart. I wiped the cam all down. Like I said, it looks pretty good. So this cam anyways looks pretty good. When we get to the others, we will find out. I'm hoping that like I said, I caught this in time and my cams did not get damaged. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna grab your lifters and your rockers. I just have mine in a pool of royal purple oil, which I will be draining the oil in this when I'm all done and replacing with the good stuff. I picked this up at O'Reilly's too, so when I go to put the cam and everything back in, I can oil up all the grooves and valleys, and I got some assembly lube too to help with making sure there's lubrication, and I'm going to get started on putting those in. I got all the new rockers and lifters put in place, put the cam back on, and all the bearing caps just basically finger tight. And now is the torquing time. First pass, you're gonna go over all these torques, they're T30s. And you're gonna do 55 inch-pounds first. Then once you do that, go back over and it's 105 final inch-pounds torque spec for the camshaft bearing torque screws, bolts there. So now I'm going to go through, torque those down. I'll be able to put the cam phaser back on with the timing chain and move on to the intake side on the passenger side. I've got all these torqued, the exhaust side. Start from, I should have said this before, but you want to start from your centers and work your way out when you're doing that, when you're tightening your bolts there. That way it just evenly pushes the pressure out. I did get this lined back up and finger tight. So now I can jump over to the intake side and repeat this whole step. And I do have new spark plugs that I'm gonna put in as well while I'm right here, and we will continue on. Well, we are now on to, I guess could be the second stage of this big old project. Now I'm gonna be taking the upper intake off. I don't believe I need to take the lower off, just the upper, so then I can get to the driver's side valve cover. So this is now the next task at hand. All these hoses and stuff that I've kind of shoved out of the way for there, I will now move them over, start unbolting this, get this out of the way so I can get to this side. So should go a little bit quicker than the passenger side because you have to take all that stuff loose, which was a good hour to clear all that out. A lot of wiring over there. It just makes it a lot easier with it out of the way. I don't think you could do it with not removing it. At least I don't want to try. But so anyways, that's what we're doing now. All right, I have the upper intake removed and out of the way. So now I can gain access to the valve cover on this side. So I will start removing all of this stuff out of the way. We'll go from there. Yeah, the side went a lot quicker. Obviously, there's not as much to remove compared to the other side. So got this side open upon
first inspection. I mean, they all seem to be pretty good shape still. There's no major grooves, so I'm glad to see that. So I will start getting this side loose. If we look at the front here real quick, said the passenger side, the dashes line up. Your driver's side should also match up when you take it apart, just like this. If it's not, then you did something terribly wrong and you need to go back and check your work. But since we locked it into place over here on this side with the tool, it wasn't allowed to rotate and throw anything off with the timing. So same thing, I will put that block in on this side, mark my timing chain and cam phasers, loosen the tension on the timing belt, remove those 36mm nuts on the end. Make sure you have a adjustable wrench on the back side here, holding here. That way that block is not going to be able to take loosening this because it's plastic. It will probably break and then you'll be chasing plastic pieces down there. It's not going to work. So make sure you grab it back here at the same time when you're loosening these two nuts. And that's it so far. We'll get to tearing apart. Hi guys, I'm gonna do a little follow-up with how this has been going, this rocker and lifter valve job on my 3.6 Pentistar Jeep Wrangler motor. First of all, I'm doing a little more than I expected at this point. I didn't fully study up enough, and so I was having an issue trying to get the driver's side cam phasers back on because the tension on the timing chain was not releasing. I had the special tool, it wasn't working. I thought that the chain had slipped off the bottom, well, where the one of the crank roller, where it goes down there. And so then it was like off a tooth or binding. So instead of just trying to force stuff on, I thought I better take the timing cover off and make sure it's on there, my timing's all right. So in the midst of doing that, I ended up discovering why my tensioner wasn't releasing. And had I watched some more videos, it would have saved me all this extra time that I'm putting in. But I guess I'm getting a crash course and learning about my engine really well. So it is what it is at this point. I'd rather be doing it right this time instead of going through all this and then going to start it and having a major catastrophe and a big paperweight at that point. So if you've been following along and watching this so far, I applaud you. I know it's not the shortest of videos, but if you're doing this job, this video is going to help you not run into these problems and speed up your repair a lot better. So I'm your test dummy at this point. So I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer at this point and kind of show you the things I've learned and what's going on and where I'm at, and then we'll continue on getting it back together. So
This is what my engine bay looks like right now. It's pretty chaotic and crazy, and you'd think this is never going to get back together, but I don't know if I'll get it back together yet today. I'm really going to try because I do have to drive to work tomorrow. It is almost 1 o'clock today, Sunday, so now that I got an understanding what was going on, should go a lot easier. back together. So the problem was these two cam phasers on this side. A little different design than with this, where now that I have the timing cover off, you can actually see what this tool does. It slides down here and it goes against this timing belt tensioner and pushes on it, so it frees it up so you can remove this. Well, this side is a little different. So let me grab the part. This is the tensioner on the driver's side bank. It sits right in there and it pushes up against this guide right here. So another part of this toolkit that's for this job, for this side, the timing cover's on, you slide it down in here and it's supposed to push like that. Then that takes the tension off this timing chain and you can do your lifter rocker job on this side. Well, that tensioner was not releasing and it was pushing and pushing and I couldn't get it to budge. Had I watched my videos a little bit better, show you a little trick. I'll have to put the phone up here. So, like I was saying, this is the tensioner for the driver's side timing chain. That pushes on the timing chain guide. And this is stuck out right now. So you see all these little teeth right here? This little tool was in my kit. I didn't know what it was for. I had to learn the long way and the harder way. So maybe this will help you and you don't have to do what I just did. So when this is bolted in the block, timing cover's on, you reach this down, this little hole right here. There's teeth in there. Let's see. If I push, it might be kind of hard for you to see. See these little teeth in there? You push, there's a guide on the top. It goes down and kind of locks it from going back like that, right? So if you put this little tool in here and lift up, look at that, then it will go in all the way and you can get that chain loosened. I did all of this timing cover removal because of that right there. So if you know this trick, it's gonna save you a lot of time, just like that. So now, knowing that, I can get this thing put back together and move on with my life. I do want to start this thing up, let you hear what it sounds like, and just to prove that also I did get the job done and it runs and drives again. So here we go.